What's up? I'm David Longoria on the 24K Music Network. This is a music moment with Carol Connors, Dr. Mari Nobre.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello, hello. Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao
How are
Bella,
you?
ciao Bella.
It's great to see you all, even virtually as
Virtually,
well.
yes.
Yes.
Well, tell me now. You just became a doctor.
In
That's
ethnomusicology, not a doctor that can cure your throat.
I had to look that up. Like, wait, that's incredible. And how hard was that to learn that? That's incredible.
Many years in school, many pages to write, many pages to read, and 394 pages of dissertation
Yeah.
and a defense.
And then you had to defend it. Like they
Yes.
talk to you and they try and get under your
Yeah,
skin
yeah,
and they
that
do
was
all this stuff.
last Friday, this
Yeah.
past
I
Friday.
saw
So
pictures
let's
from
well
it.
though.
You were like, yeah,
Yes,
they
it
were
was
like
like fierce.
fierce.
Good.
She was fierce. But well, congratulations, because
Thank
that's
you.
really
Thank
quite an
you so,
achievement.
so. Thank you.
Most people dream of that and they don't accomplish it, but you have done it. So, and you've done so many things in your career because I've known you many years, and I know that you came as an Italian originally, and then you learned Spanish, you learned all these other and English, and they're all like native languages to you. And so I hear your music, and it just it's a never-ending supply of you're the authentic, real deal. You're in the middle of Mexico singing Mexican music with the accent and with the whole, the
Oh, love.
sabor, everything that the Latin people bring to it. And I'm thinking, how are you so authentic? You put your heart and soul in it.
There is always some problematic when we think about authenticity, just because authenticity is something to me unachievable because tradition is always something that transforms
Yeah, and you're
in
learning,
time,
right?
in places, right? What is very important is to respect and to understand the culture that you're representing in a sonic way. So I would say that what really matters is that you absorb that culture in a very organic way, that you understand the people, that you place your effort in helping the community and participating in the community. And plus we live in California, so really Mexican music is everywhere,
Yes,
Mexican
Yes,
food is everywhere.
and
But
both of those are good. Yeah,
yes,
those are
definitely.
great.
but besides, the place where you're born, there are places that make you who you are because they influence you. And, in a certain way, like Mexican music helps me to process my personal trauma. And more than any other music style, because I did sing other music genre, as you know, like,
Yes, of course.
jazz, Brazilian music, but Mexican music and the Mexican audience is just amazing. It's just incredible. Latin audience in general, like it's just incredible. And of course, I love everybody, but it's just like the response, the fact that if you touch a person's heart, then you accomplish your mission, and that's what matters. And if you can only do it if you connect in a very real way, in a truthful way to that. You
Absolutely.
don't have a plan. You just have yourself on stage, and you're right there in front of everybody trying to transmit and to really be in that case, I will not say authentic, but to be yourself.
You're being yourself, but you're also fearless. You go into it with the notion that they're going to love what I'm doing. And if they don't love it, I don't care. I'm going to give it to them and they're going to love it.
That's right. I'm going to give it to you, and that's it. You're going to
You will love it.
Whether you like it or not.
Hasn't it worked though? Isn't it exactly what happens?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people, because for instance, this new album that is going to come out in February 2026, La Madrina, I released the first three singles. It comes from a 4 year project of live concerts of music that is very feminist, that talks about toxic relationships and how sometimes we may fall, but also we have to learn how to get up. Right.
Yes.
And it matters the way that you get up. It doesn't matter, like nobody's perfect. Nobody's not gonna ever make a mistake, right? Or make a bad choice. Let's say, because I don't believe in mistakes. I believe that everything has a lesson for us.
Right.
But I think that the way that I connect to other women, they can really see themselves in my music, because I talk about experiences that at some level we all share,
That's exactly it. That's what, and
Yes.
it crosses those cultures because everybody, whether you're Mexican or Italian or Canadian or whatever, you experience those life things that we all experience. And
Yes.
and we're talking about how Carol Connors is such a trailblazer, and
Thank you.
she has opened paths that a lot of other women don't necessarily open the same door, but they feel empowered to go through doors that maybe they wouldn't have had they
Well,
not heard her
thank you.
story.
Absolutely. I have actually a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Now, this is valuable. I want to
Here
hear
it
this.
goes. I want to hear it.
No. It's kind of like the approach to your work because I thought, that maybe sometime, maybe along the way, I would like to write my own story as well. And like you said, sometimes we really are women who dare, right? To
Right,
really
right.
like have
Absolutely.
the courage to be themselves and do. But what I find very difficult when is an autobiography is to create that distance between you, your emotions, and your story, and to be able to choose one aspect rather than the other of the story, because there are so many details that we know about, let's say even one episode of your story. So my question to you is like, how did you create that distance?
Well, what I did was there was a gentleman named Stephen Bergsman, and he is one of the leading writers for books about rock and roll and different.
Music journalist.
Yes,
He really understands that.
basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Music
Billy,
historian.
yes, he did like Billy Preston and
Yeah.
Dixie Chicks and
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. And because there was a documentary in the works, but we hadn't really totally done it. And he came to me, and I said, no, I don't want to write a book. I'm not interested in writing a book. I was very, very resistant. And as it progressed, the documentary, and he kept badgering me, I did it. But what we would do is, he did his research. He knew me better than I knew myself.
He knew a
Uh,
lot of details and he knew how
oh
to
my
weave some
gosh.
of it out.
You used the word. He was able to weave the stories of the stories I told him that were happening in my life. And it went on and on for a year. It was like Monday and Thursday, an hour each day. And I would just talk and talk and talk. And he would listen and transcribe it. And he was able to weave the stories into the stories about almost so that they were coinciding, about the music world and what was going on at the time. And I
It's a
must
pretty
give him,
powerful story.
I have to give him not total credit because they are my stories, but he was able to put them into some form of,
Bite-sized pieces, you know.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's understandable, manageable.
because otherwise you're all over the place. I mean,
Right.
I could never have done it by myself. I told Barbie, I said, Barbie, you of all people, my best friend is Barbie Benton, you of all people should do a book. And she says, well, I'm going to write it. I said, no, Barbie, have somebody write it with you
Yeah.
that is a book
So
writer.
somebody could step back and say,
Yes.
okay, these are important.
Yes.
You're kind of wasting a whole lot of
Yes.
these and those. Let's
Mhm.
get it back to the meat and potatoes here.
Because I'm a music writer. I write music and lyrics. I do not write stories. But
Right.
he did. And he
And
listened
he
to
did a
what I had
beautiful
to
job.
say.
He really did a beautiful.
I know. I congratulate him because people keep coming up to me, and I always give him credit,
Yeah.
and he deserves all the credit
And
he
it's
gets.
funny how the flow of this has gone because from the idea of doing a documentary about your life to writing the book, which was the memoir, to the audiobook because one day I said to you, "Hey, you can't just put a book out. You got to get an audiobook because people want to hear it. They're
Right,
driving to
right.
Vegas, they don't want to sit there and read it.
Yeah.
They want to hear it on the way. So we have to take a little different approach to that and each step you had to figure out the parameters of it. What was it going to take to get that step done? And
Absolutely.
somehow by the grace of God and your will, you've got each of these things done. And the documentary comes out this year in
Right.
2026. It's
Right.
hitting
To
the,
watch it.
it's going to be in
We're
the,
opening at the Palm Springs Film Festival, which
That's
is one of the
beautiful.
most prestigious festivals.
and then on to Miami.
And then to Miami,
all of its-
Miami,
Right.
and then Boca, and then we may be doing a project for Malaysia.
That's right. For all
Actually,
countries all over the
Malaysia,
world.
but
Yeah.
they say Malaysia.
Malaysia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Yes,
Doing lots of really cool stuff
things
this
are
year.
wonderful.
Yeah. And Dr. Mari, congratulations on all the great stuff that you've been doing. And to go back in the middle of all this work and all these performances, all these rehearsals, all these music videos, all the stuff that you do, and a cowboy hat that you wear, all those things that you do, many hats that you wear, really, you still went back and got your doctorate. That is
That's
so,
phenomenal.
yeah, it's amazing.
Well, somebody told me a few years ago, oh, you cannot be a performing artist, a singer, a full-time singer, and then get a doctoral degree. That's impossible. And then I told them, watch me.
See,
Right.
that's all you need is one.
To you, what's that?
Cancer.
Oh, okay.
Cancer, but rising sign is Pisces.
Okay.
So sometimes you just need somebody to throw a glove in front of you and say, I challenge you. And they
Yes.
didn't know they were challenging you, but they were. And you said, you know what? I'm going to do this.
But you know how many times in life they told me I couldn't, I shouldn't. I think that it happened to everybody, right?
Yes.
Like I
You find out what you're made of when that happens. Because when we were doing this, I told everybody, okay, I think we're going to get a Grammy nomination. You know how many people told me they think I was right? Zero. You know how many people told me they thought it was completely impossible? A
Zero.
whole lot of people. A
Yeah.
whole lot of people did that. So I said, I can't listen to those people.
yeah.
I've been doing this a long time. I know when we've got something really good, we've
Thank
got
you.
something really good and we're going to get it out there. That's all there is to it.
I must say that my sister, my younger sister, and she's becoming a great artist. Her name is Cheryl Meadow, Medow. She said that when we were, I'm a year and a half older, when we were growing up, she never heard me say wouldn't, couldn't, shouldn't, won't, can't, don't. She said, all I remember, my real name's Annette, and she said, all I remember is that you always said could, would, should, will, can. It was always the positive,
Yes.
never the negative. Never the negative.
And that's very important.
I think it says it all.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's the only way to go through life and to achieve what you want to achieve. I think it's like you keep on listening to people. There are a lot of people that actually they are kind of, I think, envious and even threatened
Oh,
by
yes,
somebody's
yes.
life,
Very,
for them being
Absolutely,
right,
absolutely.
So,
And look at Sylvester Stallone. I mean, Rocky, because I was involved in, writing the theme song. I mean, he was starving to death, but he knew that he had to play Rocky.
he
And
knew
he
it was the right,
refused to
right.
sell, and they offered him some good money. He wouldn't sell the screenplays. No, I'm going to play it or nobody's going to play it. And look what happened.
Absolutely.
He
And when
believed
it's
in
right, it's
himself.
right.
Yes.
yes, absolutely.
Well,
Michael, is there only one soulmate or more than one in life?
You mean that I've had?
Well,
in general.
to you in general, what do you think?
Um,
Well, you went from Elvis Presley to David Jansen to Robert
Robert
Culp,
Culp.
and who else?
Well, there's
Other ones that we don't know?
well, yeah,
Clint
but
Eastwood. He doesn't.
I
He doesn't even know.
on him.
I called him. He doesn't even
I know
know.
I have a crush on him. I've had a crush on him all my life. But no, there have not been the ones that when I'm a Scorpio
Mm-hmm.
and when I'm in love, it's all I can think about.
Mm.
My whole life revolves around that. But there have been not that many people in my life that I would even want to share my life with.
But they were pretty good. The ones that you chose. They were
Absolutely.
pretty good.
And and then my dream was my music.
Mm.
And that's all I could think about. And I felt for me, and this is not for everybody, but for me, I couldn't divide. I couldn't have this and that. I had to pick one or the other.
So is music, we can say that music was your greatest love?
Yes.
Yeah, mine too.
There you go. I knew this was going somewhere. I knew it.
Good question.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you, Dr. Amati,
you.
for being here, and
Thank you. You're
Thank you.
Dr.
You too,
Connors,
my
you
love.
too.
I
And
love your nails.
Thank
They're
you.
gorgeous.
Women
Gold,
voice.
gold finger.
wow. Well, thank you so much for being here as our audience. Thank you, Carol, and thank you, Dr. Amati,
Thank
for
you.
being here. This has been a music moment, or more than a moment, but it's been a music moment. I'm David Longoria. This is the 24K Music Network. See you next time.